All right, so in the last video, I explained the story behind LeaseChat and how the app came to be. So now I'm going to do a video series on how we actually built the tool and different technical challenges that came about. And basically, I want to show how it's possible to build a tool like this pretty quickly and the technology behind it. So anyways, this first video, I want to show the OCR part. And so if we go on the app itself and we do a lease analysis, I want to show basically what happens whenever the software ingests the lease. So I just uploaded my lease, gonna put in my name, gonna put in email, and then I'll put in an address. Okay, so basically, all right, legal disclaimer. So throughout this process right here, what's happening is, so first I scanned, I uploaded my PDF, and there's different things that we had to deal with at this point of the software because a lot of times leases will have pictures, they'll have tables, they'll have different like funky things, and so when they're in PDF format, the computer is not able to read them like regular text. Like it's not like a Word document. It's actually more like a picture. But there is this technology called OCR, which, if we look it up, it's called Optical Character Recognition. So it converts an image into machine readable text format. Okay, that's a perfect example. So we had to use this OCR technology to get the image-based text, which is the PDF, into readable text that an AI can then interpret. And the way we did that is we used a software called Llama Parse. Llama Parse is particularly good because I mean, basically transforms messy documents. Yeah, like basically it takes in the image and it uses AI to not only extract the text, but it also formats it. And so I want to give a brief tutorial on how it works and how you may be able to use it for your apps. But more importantly, I just want to explain how we used it within LeaseChat, right? So what Llama Parse does at this stage is it goes like let me pull up my lease right now. Give a second. Here you go. So here's my lease, right? And so this is like a picture. Adobe Acrobat has OCR technology where you can select the text, but and it's like on its own, it's just like it's a picture based. The PDF is like a picture based document, right? And so how does it extract this text, right? So how does it do this? How is it going from picture to this text right here? Um, it's using OCR, right? And so when we upload this PDF, the software Llama Parse is taking this information and formatting it in an organized way. Anyways, I'm going to show you guys in a second how to do it, and it'll make a lot more sense. But basically, it cleans, it'll clean the text. It will remove any different headers, footers, all these kinds of, and it'll make sure that the information is format it in a nice way. So that way, when we send it to the ChatGPT API or we send it to Perplexity API, it can read that text and it's a lot easier to prompt and get good information that way, get good output. Right. So again, it just basically, and these chat, there's three things. Like we input the PDF, it goes to Llama Parse cleans it up, and then it outputs, you know, pretty good. Like it outputs the least text, but in an organized manner. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up my terminal and I'm going to use Claude code to show you uh, how this kind of works. So I'm not going to use Cursor because it's just a little more difficult to get it set up here, and I don't want to build like a full app. I just want to show you and set up like a quick little demo of Llama Parse versus another OCR tool that just extracts it without AI, extracts the text without AI. So, okay. So what I'm going to do, so this is Cloud Code. You install it in your terminal, and you can just tell it what to do, and it'll make little apps for you. So it's pretty cool. I'll show you. You'll see in this little tutorial how it works. But okay. So I looked up on ChatGPT what are some different open source libraries for OCR extraction. So some of these were the ones that we tried at first for LeaseChat, but it wasn't quite getting the text from the lease in the same way that Llama Parse was. So Llama Parse is a paid product. They do have a pretty nice free tier that gives you a good amount of text, which that's how we started. I've since moved to the paid version because we've gotten a good amount of leases every couple days, and so we just need more volume to keep up with the demand. But anyways, Tesseract is a good one. I mean, there's a bunch of them here, but I've used Tesseract before, so it does OCR. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to go to my terminal. I'm actually gonna speak to it using this tool called Whisper. So if you guys haven't used it, it's pretty cool. Like you just talk to it, and yeah, it like outputs your text. So you'll see. I'm gonna use it to make for this tutorial because I think it's pretty cool. But anyways, okay, let's go back here. And so what I'm gonna tell it is that I want to create an app that just compares Tesseract to Llama Parse, and I will give it my Llama Parse API key to then use it. It's going to create a little app within my just my computer so I can run it. So I'm going to do this in Python, which LeaseChat is not written in Python. LeaseChat is written in Next.js, but I'm going to use it in Python because it's a lot easier to set up, and I don't care how it looks right now. One of the things with Python is I'm not very I don't like the styling of the websites as much. It's also slower. There's a bunch of other reasons why we use Next.js for LeaseChat, but Python is a very good tool to make these quick little apps. And it's also there's a lot of AI compatibility with Python. Like I think even Llama Parse has a lot more documentation for Python than they do for any of the other languages. Anyways, so I'm gonna tell Cloud Code I want to build a very small prototype app that compares Tesseract OCR technology to Llama Parse OCR technology. Would you be able to spin up a very lightweight and quick Python app where I can upload my lease PDF and it does Tesseract OCR extraction and it does a Llama Parse OCR extraction and it compares it side by side. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. Right, so all right, so let's do that. I'm gonna have it give me questions. Before you start, please give me any questions that might be relevant to you creating the best app possible. Again, I want this to be pretty quick. This is just for a demo. I want it to have a very simple UI, and I just want to be able to drop in my lease and have it output the OCR extraction. Okay. So sorry. One thing when I'm coding with AI, like with Cursor, any of these tools, I've been doing this a lot for like brainstorming and just like getting something out quick. I just talk to it. When I am trying to get more methodical and build something that would actually go into production, yeah, then I start reading the code, then I start looking and typing, and I'm more tedious with it. But right now we're just trying to do a quick demo. I just want to show you guys how the OCR works for Llama Parse and for Tesseract. So, okay, let's see what it said. So it said Llama Parse API key. Okay, so I do have it. Tesseract requires. Okay, so I'm gonna answer these. I'm gonna put my Llama Parse API key, so I'm gonna pause it so you guys don't see my API key and steal it. Okay, so I just asked it the question, or I just answered its questions. Basically, just telling me like what framework I wanted to build in. We're going to use Streamlit, which is usually used for data analysis apps. I'm not sure why it picked that, but I don't really care, frankly. It also asked me like what my API key was and whether just some other just basic questions. So nothing crazy. And just now it's going to start building. Uh, okay. I should have probably made it. I should have probably made this on my desktop or somewhere else, not not my main directory. Uh, but yeah, it's just gonna write, and in a second it'll have a an app up. So I'm gonna pause until it stops going. Okay, actually seems like it stopped going. Can you run the app, please? All right. So the cool thing about these tools is that it can now just run apps without you having to do them. And that was a big pain in the butt before. Like you just have to like set up, like the setup when you're programming is pretty annoying sometimes because things will break and you'll spend an hour just like trying to get things to work. Okay, right now it's okay, it's going again, so let me pause it again. Okay, actually on a little side note, let me show you, for example, like llama parse, like here, when I start doing getting all this information, like common scenarios and red flags, it has little badges that it pulls out and it shows like text from within the lease. And this is text that was run through llama parse, right? That is already formatted so that it's easy to digest. So let it load here in a second. All right, so this text right here, for example, this, if I were to take it directly from the PDF, it would probably not look like this. It might have a page break, it might have like some other stuff that might be difficult to read. It might have like weird like little computer icons, but see, Llama Parse extracts it like pretty clean. So, okay, let's wait for this app to come up. It looks like it's downloading stuff, so give us some time. Okay, I think we are ready. All right, so let's try it. Let's try to do my lease. Hopefully it got the instructions right. I'm actually gonna check and see, make sure. See. Okay, so it looks like right now it's running Tesseract and then it's gonna run parse. I'm actually gonna ask it like, hey, can you tell me what this does, what the app exactly does, so I can make sure that it's doing what I need it to do? I'm just gonna ask it a question. Okay, so drag and drop, saves file temporarily, converts each of them to each PDF page to an image. Okay, I'm not sure why it does that, but okay. Runs Tesseract OCR. All right. Okay, that's why it turns each of them into PDF. Okay, okay, cool. That makes sense. All right, so then this one, so you see this one I have to turn it into an image and then run Tesseract OCR. Here sends the just sends it direct to Blum parts much easier, right? Obviously, like if you need a lot of work, it's you're gonna have to pay, but I mean, it makes it much easier. Uh, anyways, return structure markdown. So, all right, yeah. So we'll see what we get. So it's doing what it should. Let's hope it doesn't break. This might take quite a bit because it's at least 122 pages, so it's not exactly like the most lightweight thing. All right, seems like we got a results. So okay. So as you can see, here is the Tesseract output. And so here is the, I mean, you could see, I'm trying to find somewhere where it might be like, okay, so here we have like some weird text where secure deposit received if applicable. Let's see if we, okay, see, we don't even get that. Secure received if applicable. Yeah, see, like it's just, it just retains all of this. And so it's much easier for it's just much easier for an AI to understand that than just giving it all this text. Um, yeah, see, like it's just not the same. So, right, and so here it's like if I look up, where was that? If applicable, right? So if applicable, secure receipt QQQR, and here, because like a bullet, it's like bullet points, right? And so this just gives a better output to the AI to work with. And so when we were building LeaseChat, like we were trying to interpret a lot of this text and we're trying to do things with it, like do research to find information based on the statute. We really needed it to be as clean as possible. And Llama Parse really allows us to do that. So anyways, that was kind of the first issue that we tried to deal with was just the OCR extraction. We're still working on some things like there we got a lease that was fully like a picture. Wasn't even like it was like one of those scanned documents that you can't even really read that well. And so we're trying to figure out a solution for that because Llama Parse was not even able to get that. But but yeah, this was like when we were building the app, it's like We know people are going to input their leases. We need something that's going to be reliable, give us good output, so that way we can take that information from the lease, that lease text that you see right here, and we can run prompts on top of it, or we can run research on top of it. We can run RAG on top of it. So I will go over a lot of those things in the next videos. But anyways, I hope you guys like this video. Uh, please share it if you found it useful. Leave a comment. But yeah, we're excited to have worked on this project at the AI lab. It was very fun project. So anyways, hope you enjoyed the video. See you next time.